Hello. Welcome. Hi, everybody. Hi, Sarah. Yay, Sarah, you signed up for the Yummy Mummy. I was so excited. I actually meant to send you a personal email to be like, you're in. I'm so excited you're doing the Yummy Mummy, Sarah. Hello, you guys. Okay, everybody's just coming on in. Hello, Stephanie. Hello, Augustine. Yay, I'm so happy you're here. Amazing. Hey, Susan. I love it. Okay. So you guys, we're just gonna dive right in. It is day 5 and it is my favorite day of the week of School of Skinny. The day when we get to have the Yum Mum alum on with us. It is the absolute best. So you guys know, first minute I'm always screwing with my hair. I didn't curl it today. I don't know. What do we think? Okay, so this is by far my absolute favorite because you guys can pop open the Q&A box and ask the alumni, the Yum Mum alum, as they're called so lovingly, any questions that you have. I also have some questions that are frequently asked questions. So thank you to all of you for being here. I've been seeing so many of you guys book calls, so many of you guys just go ahead and sign right up. Remember, we start September 25th. We lose weight for the last damn time, guaranteed. So if you are one of my Yum Mum alum, one of my beloved Yum Mum alum, please, actually, I can just promote you guys. You don't have to raise your hands or anything. I'm going to start promoting you guys to panelists. So we'll have our nice Yum Mum alum party panel, and we'll just dive right in. For those of you that are not Yum Mum alum, you are students of the School of Skinny. You guys can just go ahead and pop in your questions that you have, okay? So I'm going to start promoting. We've got Casey here. We've got Carolyn here. We've got Nikki here. Oh my God, I love my Yum Mum alum. Yay. Zoe's like, let me in. We have Tori and we have Zoe. This is going to be so fun. So you guys start popping in your, Zoe's like, let me in. Start popping in your questions into the Q&A. And for those of my Yum Mum alum, if you guys want to come on video, that would be amazing. Yay. All right. Guys, it really does become like a sisterhood. I really can't believe it says it won't let you, Casey. It won't let you turn your video on. Is that right? Oh, that's so dumb. Okay, let me see if I can fix that. Oh, that's so weird. Oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. It's so weird. I wonder. No, I tried to make you a host, but I should make you on and not a host. Okay, just unmute you guys if you don't mind. And I'm gonna. Yeah, I think I got you to come on camera, Casey, but I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to get other people because I don't know if I can make everybody a host. I made you a host. Oh, I don't know. So,
Thank God I just got my eyebrows done.
yeah, thank God no one's gonna sign up for the Yummy Mummy unless you have beautiful eyebrows. Casey's been trying to get us on Oprah and The View for like about 2 years now. Still hasn't happened. I don't know what's wrong with us, but anyways, okay. Sorry, you guys. You guys are like, yeah. There must be some back end setting that I can't we're just gonna have to talk like old school, like we're on the phone and we'll get to see Casey's beautiful face, but unfortunately we're not gonna get to see everybody else's face, which is a super big bummer. So That's that. All right, so you guys can just go ahead and unmute yourselves unless you are in a very, oh, in Zoom meeting, click participate. Okay, Casey, can you make me the host again?
Yes. How?
Maybe click on me. So sorry, you guys. Um, oh, God. Okay, you guys stay with me. I promise this is gonna be worth it. I know some of you guys are like, oh my God, this is annoying. I'm hopping off. Trust me, this is going to be worth it. Okay, so I think I reclaimed host,
Okay, cool.
enable. Okay, now you guys should be able to start video, I think. So,
Yep.
yay! Oh my God. Thank you for being patient with me.
I didn't want to give up. I didn't want to give
Yeah.
up. I
My
knew
God,
we were
you're
on
the best.
video.
You saved the day. And look at these beautiful faces. I'm so glad that we get to see you guys. Oh my God. This is so much better. Okay, worth the wait. All right. So let's dive right in. What I want to hear from you guys, and so for my beautiful Mum Alum, you guys can go like this and raise your hand, or you can actually click the raise hand button so that I know that you have something that you want to add to the conversation. But what I really like to start off with is kind of like your before. Like, what were you struggling with before you signed up for the Yummy Mummy in terms of like your day to day, in terms of your parenting, in terms of your ability to be present, in terms of getting dressed, in terms of meal times? Like, what was it like for you to live as somebody, quote unquote, before? And I want to hear your honest truth. Some of us start forgetting. I know for me, I like forget how bad it was. And then also, like, I know Tori and I have talked about this a couple times. Like, for some of us, it like wasn't that bad. Like, if you met me 10 years ago, you probably would think I'm like similar to how I am now. I'm still very happy, very bubbly, but it was just this kind of constant annoyance for me personally. And so for some of us, it was, it's been all consuming and borderline traumatic. And then for others of us, it's like everything else in my life was pretty good. This was just this one nagging thing. It wasn't like, I had the worst life ever. And then the Yummy Mummy solved everything. So I really just want to open it up for like a real honest conversation. But the reason I start with this question, I'm just kind of telling the Yum Mum Alum and you as my listeners, like the audience, the students, is because I do think it's important for you guys to be able to relate, to see like, oh, I'm not alone. Like, oh, I'm not crazy. Like, oh, most of American women struggle with this problem. And I think there's a lot of just shame that can be released and freed just in feeling like we're not alone. So that's kind of the opening question. What was it like for you before? And so whoever wants to start, Nikki, amazing. You're unmuted. Yay.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
being here, Nikki.
Yeah. So thanks for the opportunity. So for me, before the young mom, my biggest, I think, struggle was truly the weight. It was how it made me feel. I felt less confident. I felt less desirable. I felt it was all consuming. I felt like it was like mind and body. It wasn't just like my body. It was taking up a lot of my thoughts. I wouldn't want to like get dressed. I wouldn't want to go shopping. And so it was very consuming and not in a positive way. I felt very hopeless. I felt that I had tried a lot of different diets. You name it, I probably tried it. And over time, I was realizing that dieting wasn't working for me. I tried intuitive eating and trying to do like a plan. I spent money on a course there, but I just felt like it gave me permission to eat everything and it wasn't really solving my problem because intuitively, of course, I want chocolate chips and cookies and ice cream and pizza, right? Like, and I wasn't always making the best choices because it just, yeah. So I won't go into the solving yet because I'm sure there'll be another question. But what I will recognize is that what wasn't consuming me at the time was I don't think I realized at the time how it was impacting my parenting and my friendships and my relationships.
Mm.
So it was more about the weight for me. It wasn't, the other things, Laura, that you mentioned that you would want us to address, those things at that time, I did not realize were an issue for me until later.
Yeah, amazing. That's so well said. Thank you. Casey.
At first I had a hard time remembering too because I'm like, man, I'm literally such a different person. Like what was hard? Because at the time it was all consuming in my life. I had struggled for years, my whole life before that, and specifically like 40-ish pounds just under after having a baby. Eating healthy, working out, in the diet cycle, same doing everything. I feel like a lot of people can relate. And what I realized, like when you asked and when Nikki was talking too, like I didn't know what I really needed. I didn't know what I was struggling with. I thought it was weight. I thought I just needed to learn commitment and discipline. I wrote it down before I met with you. I wanted to lose that. I was like, then I can stay with it. I just can't commit. That wasn't what I really needed. I really needed the root of why I was eating. And
Mm.
that's what has basically changed everything, like from then on out.
Oh, that's so well said. Okay, I want to, I,
Like you don't know what you don't know. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
you think we want to lose weight, and of course we do. That's so important. That was such a big piece that was getting in my way. It was all consuming, like there, and at times more than others, at times more than I really wanted to admit, every day, every day. And now it's just not at all. And I can talk more about
yeah.
this later.
No, it's, I mean, I have like 8 questions for you and Nikki, but I'm going to go to Zoe and then Tori, but I do think it is really important what you highlighted. We've been taught how to diet. We haven't been taught how to lose weight for the last time. And it's like, I do think that's why this method works is because we are healing this issue at the root. We are figuring out like, oh, why am I eating what I'm eating and when I'm eating? And then when we can find that answer and solve for it, then we solve the problem, which is what we do inside. So yeah, that's so, so well said. Zoe,
Okay, I have a slightly different backstory.
great. I love it. That's why we're all here.
I mean, not really, but basically, I remember talking to you being like, I wish it was just the 1800s and like fat bodies were celebrated, and that would be amazing. And so I feel like I had a little bit of delusion going on because like the body positivity movement came along, which is great, and I'd be like, I look amazing. And I would sort of like delude myself. And then I would see a picture of myself that someone had taken, and it would like send me into this horrible spiral of like, oh my God, like, is that how I actually look? And like for a long time, I lived and died by the idea that the camera added like 20 pounds. I was like, no, it's just a camera. I don't actually look like that. Um, so for me, I had a lot of internal conflict about like what I actually wanted to look like. And I'd done so many things that were like so restrictive and so impossible to do long term. Um, and then I think you gave me the permission to be like, no, like I do want to be at my natural weight. And like it's okay to like love myself and also not want to be like overweight. And so
Hmm.
that was kind of huge because I resisted that for so long. And I thought that I was loving myself by eating like a dozen chocolate chip cookies, but um that wasn't actually, the
Turns
ultimate.
out that's not self-love for a lot of us.
Yeah.
Some of us. But yeah, like I did that too. I was like talking myself into loving what I actually didn't love if I was being honest with myself because this body love, body positivity movement, which we do teach inside the Yummy Mummy just in a different way, um, was so popular. And I felt so much shame because I felt like, well, if I don't love my body, then like something's wrong with me. And it's like you can love your body and want to change. Like though it's not mutually exclusive. And what's so interesting, I talk about this all the time. What's so interesting is like the things I was doing that caused the extra weight to be on my body weren't loving things, like you said, like the 12 cookies, right? It's like what I was doing was ignoring what I actually like. A lot of my extra weight would be like 9 p.m. restlessness eating, or like boredom eating, or like fun on the weekends eating. And like at 9 p.m., what I really needed was probably like to take care of myself in a way that like actually served me. And so I think it's just kind of an ironic thing. The things I was doing that caused this extra weight weren't loving. So, anyways, that's a whole nother kind of talk track. So Zoe, that's so, so well said. How did you reconcile that then?
I think learning about thought errors and
Mm,
like that whole concept that you don't actually have to believe everything you think and that like thoughts aren't objectively true was huge for me because I had all these stories that I told about myself, like I have no willpower, but it's like genetic. Like I'm just like genetically a lazy person. Like I inherited it, so can't do anything about that. And then I
yeah.
had all these things like all these insane equations, like I love myself and I love cookies. So if I eat cookies, and then that means like just my brain.
Yeah.
When I like figured out how to actually get onto the sort of sneaky lies my brain was telling me that I fully believed, that was huge.
Yeah, that's so, so well said. I love that. Okay, Tori.
Hi. Okay.
Hi.
Um, I just want to echo what you said in the beginning, Laura, because I think before me was like, one, I thought I was doing all the right things, and I actually kind of liked myself. So I'm like, do I really need to explore this deeper? And then what Casey said about like getting to the root, like that was transformational in like all areas of my life. And that's what I think it didn't I was so intrigued by the model. And I think you and I talked about this before. Like I'd heard about it and I was like, how does this really apply to me? And then once I dug in, it was like, let me just try the thing that I hadn't done before. And
Mm,
um, I think that like the biggest thing is that I didn't realize, and I know you've touched on this, and I think even this week, is like the emotional eating component. I was like, I'm not an emotional eater. And turns out, I'm like, oh, I guess I am. Let's look under the hood there and figure out what's going on. So I think that was like the biggest
yeah.
kind of aha moment for me, that I was like, wait, if I can attack this and I can get this under control and I can, understand the behaviors. And again, it's a lifelong practice. So it's like I'm 3.5, almost 4 years into this and like still looking at it, but I have the tools. And so I think that's the bigger like thing. Whereas in previous life, I didn't have those tools. So it was just like throwing the towel, or it was just like, oh, or just accept who I was for who I was. And that was also okay too, until it wasn't. I'm like, wait, there is something more. And I just think it's just been, I think the reverberations like into other areas of my life is like my biggest takeaway from doing it, is that like I can really apply the model to so many different areas where I want to make a change and where I want to level up. So
Mm.
that's
Yeah, no, it's so I mean, I think that's kind of a similar version of my story. I was happy in so many areas. I really kind of like, and I did talk about it this week, like I really had accepted defeat
mm-hmm.
around this. But then again, when I had my daughter, I was just like, I knew how much like, it was taking up of my mental capacity, and I just didn't want her to get that. So yeah, I love that. That's so good. Okay, Carolyn.
Well, of course, I resonate with everything everybody said. In the past me, the one that I let go of some time ago now, which is not really that long ago. I just started in January, but which I can't believe that I feel the way that I feel now, just in these few months. But I was always looking for the answer, that I knew that the answer for me was out there somewhere. I never found it. I mean, I tried them all. I was always miserable with what I ate because certainly my hormones, my hunger hormones were out of balance. I mean, I just remember just being like a screaming meanie all the time, just like I've got to eat something, and I just ate, right? Um, and I also the being in photos and being with people, always I felt really uncomfortable, like bumpy, and I didn't want to. I look at a picture and I would feel really gross and bad about myself. So I didn't want to be in photos, which, looking back, I mean, I feel really bad about that now, because I think that I missed out on so much. And so did the people that I love and was with missed out. I was like, let me take the photo instead of being in the photo. And now I'm like the person that says, let's get a picture of this. Now, I'm not by no means at my natural weight physically, but certainly mentally I'm a different person. And that whole feeling good about myself and actually wanting to be engaged and being in the photos and all that, really makes me think back to all those things that I missed out on.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, which I think is like so articulate. Like inside the Yummy Mummy, you don't wait till you're at your natural weight because for some of us it takes a year or it takes, how it takes however long it takes. But we learn to live life fairly quickly inside the experience to live life now. Like so many of us have been trained to play the when then game or to live by arrival fallacy where it's like, okay, when I get there, then I can be in the picture. When I achieve this, then I can feel confident. Or when I can be in a size, whatever the size is, then I can like go to this party or wear this or whatever. And it's like, no, actually, we do it the reverse because we really do only have this one precious life. So like, why not live how we think it's going to be over there now? And then that actually becomes the fuel for a lot of the weight loss that ends up happening, which is so cool. Okay, let me switch to another question. That really this just dovetails. What do you feel like you are like now? What do you feel like? And some of you guys did touch on it already. Like, what's different for you? How do you feel now versus how did you feel then? I always love to ask the question, like, if you had to name one feeling that you felt around food, body, weight then and how you feel now around food, body, weight, what would those two feelings be? And of course, you guys can speak, you can answer with just 2 words, or you can elaborate if you want to. Who wants to go first? Nikki.
My word would be free. So I think for me, freedom. Freedom from, I think I mentioned like filling up and taking over all the capacity in my brain. Freedom from stressing, about what I'm going to eat, what I'm going to wear. And for me, a big part of this has been around relationships. I did not realize that the emotional, I think, was it Tori kind of talked about like not really realizing you were an emotional eater. I think I used to think an emotional eater was someone who like cried over the tub of ice cream. And I was like, well, yeah, I don't cry when I eat food, like, but I didn't realize that my emotions were really triggering and what, emotional eating was anytime I ate when I wasn't hungry. And so the big transformation for me was realizing how much it wasn't about food. It was about my expectations of others, or it was around my frustrations with others, or it was allowing, and I'm still working through this. I've had a lot of stress with work lately and realizing how much my work can still drive me to that. Those habits are ingrained. But now I have tools. Now I have the thought work. Now I understand it. Now I'm feeling my feelings in a way that I've never done before. And so I think that for me, the word is freedom, because I've just had so much more freedom in my life, whether it's food, whether it's relationships, whether it's just love for myself.
Oh, that's so awesome. That's so great. I love that. Tori.
I think what initially came up for me when you asked the question is I really feel like I'm in the driver's seat at all times. And I think that was like a big, like shifting moment for me, that I'm like, all these circumstances that come up in our lives, I can actually manage them. I can take control of them just by changing the way that I'm looking at things, and then the actions follow from there. So I would say like just feeling like I'm in the driver's seat was a big change for me, that I'm like, these things don't control me. I actually get to make choices that support where I'm going. Detours here and there because it's life, but also ultimately, like, I'm the one that gets to figure this out. And I think also the other word that came up for me is the belief, and like really staying like rooted in belief. And I borrowed a belief from you at times. I say this to my kids that are like, I have, almost like a teenager and almost teenager. And I'm like, if you don't believe in yourself, you get to borrow my belief in you right now to get through this. So that was something that I think, again, had this ripple effect into other parts of my life, that I was like, we always get to be in the driver's seat and we can do this. And on good days, on bad days. So that's what I want to offer.
No, that's so well said. And it's just like, I love everyone's answers because you guys are just so like authentic and real. I just love it. So thank you. Carolyn.
Yeah, I echo the same feelings. Light and free are the two things that always pop into my head. And light it really impacts everything. It's like when I get dressed and I can button my pants and they just feel good, and not worrying about, covering up and that kind of stuff. That's a lightness for me, a lightness for when I eat, and I don't feel like I eat so much. I found out that I don't need to eat that much. Who knew? And so I feel lighter all the time when I'm eating or when I'm planning what I'm going to eat. And the freedom is just amazing. I can remember my mom always telling us, you better eat now because you never know when your next meal is going to be. Well, I've learned that, I could wait a little bit longer for my next meal. And I mean, so the freedom part, it's a lot of different things. It's, not only what I eat, how I look at food, how I feel about myself. So yeah, and then there's also that control aspect as well. But certainly I'm always feeling just really good, light and free.
Yeah. Oh, it's so interesting that your mom told you. You never know when you're gonna get your next meal. I think a lot of us have a thought or a thought that's similar to that, and it's like, actually, no, you probably do know when you're gonna get your next meal. You probably can decide when you're gonna get your next meal. It's so indicative of like the lower brain being like, seek pleasure, avoid pain, and like food is not readily available, so we better like gorge ourselves now. Yeah, so good. Zoe.
Okay, so my word before was hopeless. And I feel like I had tried all the things. And so I loved your money back guarantee because I was like, cool, I'll try this like lady and her deal. And it's not going to work, but I'll get my money back. So, like, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, you and everybody else, I think, are like, whatever.
Yeah,
And then you do all the things I tell you to do, and then you're like, shit, this is working.
I
Now I'm
know.
not gonna be able to get my money back. But I guess I don't want it back because I actually am getting what I actually wanted.
Exactly. And then my afterword, I think it's just badass. Like, I kind of feel like a badass in most areas of my life, like a lot of the times. Obviously, like 50-50, but I was gonna say in control, but that didn't feel as good as badass does.
Yeah, badass. Let's go. So awesome. So good. Okay, I have a funny question, or like a question I don't always ask. And I forgot to tell you guys this question beforehand. So if you don't have an answer, it's fine. Okay, so why is the Yummy Mummy experience, why is the Yummy Mummy method, like, why is it fun? Because what I've noticed is that you guys have kind of like labeled me as like the fun weight loss coach. It's sort of like this thing that's evolved, and it just is fun because like I'm not really like interested in life unless it's fun. So I try to make it fun, but I want to know from your perspective, like, why do you think, if you think the Yummy Mummy is fun, why do you think it's fun? Because what I've come to realize is that it's actually really a part of the strategy of the method, because when it's fun or enjoyable or whatever your word is, it's like it makes it a lot easier to not quit. It makes it easier to really live into like the sentiment, like enjoy the process, right? It really helps us to like loosen that white knuckle grip. So if you guys could speak to that, like, why do you think it is fun? And of course, like, it's not fun every second of every day to like lose weight, but I think it's more fun than everything else that's out there. Of course, I'm biased. So, why do you guys think, if you think it's fun, why do you think it's fun? Tori, I think Carolyn still has her hand up from before, but whatever.
Oh,
Okay. Oh, you can answer the question too. Okay.
okay. So I think it's fun really because, you know, you create a community that is really light. And I think there's a lot of like heaviness in the world and in our lives and all the things that everybody's going through at any given moment. I think anchoring into the community is just fun. And people get deep and we share stories and you realize that, you know, we can actually bring some levity into this whole process, right? And I think that that's, you know, I would agree with what everybody says, is that you bring the fun, but then you have this, like, you create this aura or this energy within the group, that just brings levity. I think it just keeps things light. And I think that, like, women, because all women in the group, especially those of us that have children and our mothers, you're in working, you're balancing like the weight of the world at any given time. So you come into a space and go, oh my God, is this going to feel like this massive undertaking? And you make it light. And then it gives us permission to not look at things so seriously, right? There's a time and a place to do that. And then there's also like, why don't we just have fun with this? We've all tried all the other ways. Let's just have some fun with it. So I think that was what was like so different for me, that I was like, I don't have to look at this as a massive issue to solve, because I've got all these other things over here that like are much more energy draining.
Yeah.
Just have fun with it. And then, you know, the like, again, the ripple of that is that like, then we all just kind of lighten up physically, emotionally, mentally. So
yeah. Oh, that's so well. Levity. Yeah. Carolyn.
I did leave my hand up from before, and then I thought, well, I'm just going to leave it up because I have things to say. So,
right. Bam. I love it.
That's exactly what I was going to say about it's the community. It's like, if you're feeling like, oh, this is like hard, or I don't really know what to do next, you go into Slack and somebody's talking about something, or they posted something, a glimmer or a celebration, and you just feel uplifted. And so I think that's the fun part, really. I mean, it's fun to lose weight. It's fun to feel good about yourself. It's fun to lose some of that heaviness, you know, that you felt and that brought you here. But I really think that's the community that really makes it fun. And of course you too, Laura, but you're what brought the community together. So
yeah, totally. I love the community. Like, I know some people get freaked out. They're like, oh God, can I just do this by myself? And you can totally hang back, but trust me, you're gonna love the community. It's like, it's why I will not coach one-on-one weight loss for women, because the community is integral into the success. Nikki.
So I will say the group is amazing. I was apprehensive about being in a group and being vulnerable about how I felt about my body and where I was at. But I found that the women were in the same place as me. And so I felt more safe. I learned a lot from people. So even on the days where I didn't ask to get coaching or ask for, support myself, reading people's posts or hearing people's stories, I learned so much. And sometimes those people were in different places as me. So some people had maybe reached their goal weight and then were struggling with having some weight gain, or thinking like, I thought I was done and now I'm not done. And I love your approach to it. You're direct, but also loving in that, and laugh about it and have fun. But for me, the big part of the fun part was realizing that I got to choose my journey, and I got to choose my thoughts around what I had here. And that's, again, something that you learn through the program, is realizing that like, I can grin and bear this, and I can pretend to be miserable. I can pretend I'm still on a diet, like, and allow that diet brain to take over, because I feel like diet brain is, it's a race, and I can get there as quick as I can. And there's an end. And in this case, I don't think there's an end, right? I still journal today. I'm still doing the thought work that I'm doing. So what you do to lose it, I still need to do to continue to maintain it. But again, it's so much more than the weight. And so I think realizing that I got to choose my mindset through this path and what I thought about it. And that also helped me, I think, accept and love my body through the journey, versus still continuing to look at my body and be disgusted or feeling bad about how my clothes fit. So for me, a big part of the program, but much less the idea of having fun, was, owning my thoughts and realizing that like, my brain doesn't decide what I think. I decide what I think and feel. So.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. It's like the opposite of being in the pressure cooker. So good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what would you guys tell somebody who is on the fence, who wants to sign up? They're like starting to believe in this methodology. They're starting to see like, oh, this is new and different. Like, I really could see how this could work. So they like want to do it, but again, they're kind of on the fence because either they don't believe that they can do it, maybe they believe that they really are a special unicorn and like something's broken. They don't believe because they've tried so many things, or the money is a hump. So if the money was a hump for you, if you can speak to that, because it is expensive. But I of course believe that the return is there. The ROI is there. Yes, the program is 5K, and I just wonder, like, how did you guys get yourselves to sign up? And what would you tell somebody else who's like thinking about it but just not sure? Zoe.
Okay, so I feel like right before I did the Yummy Mummy, I did the Faster Way to Fat Loss. I don't know if anyone knows that one. And it was like slightly expensive, and it was just unbelievably intense in terms of like your macro counting, and some days you had to like 25% of the macros. It was just nutty. But she was kind of like, I charge a lot. I think it was like a couple $100 a month, because if things are free, then you don't buy in, which was like a little bit in the back of my head. But again, the real motivator was that money back guarantee. And I will say I was so on the fence. But it's, I think, one of the best things I've ever done for myself. Like maybe the actual best thing I've ever done in terms of like the ripple effects it's had in my entire life.
Okay, so what are some of those ripples? Like, why is it the best thing you've ever done? I'm just gonna take it from maybe to the best.
No, I think if I look at everything, it's like the best thing. So I lost 30 pounds, which used to be this huge thing, but like I've become a better parent. I've become a better wife. I like launched my own business. I believe in myself in a way that I didn't before. And I feel like I've done, like, we do so much deep work in figuring like story versus like truth, and like how to actually get your thoughts to work for you, that I just feel like this has transformed like who I am as a person, and honestly like my potential to live my best life.
Yes, totally. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I do think that that comes up a lot. Like, when we do these panels or you guys come on the podcast or whatever, um, you're like, yeah, I lost 30 pounds. That was like really great. And like, also, I like believe in myself, which is everything. That's like what everybody wants. If you talk to people, which I talk to a lot of people, I'm sure you guys talk to a lot of people too, but really talk to people about like what is it they want in life. It comes back to capability and confidence and like belief in themselves. And on the flip side, some people won't tell you what they want because they're scared that they can't even have it in the first place because they haven't done the belief work or the thought work. So I think that's like the best gift you can give yourself is like the ability. Like I remember being afraid after I lost weight for the last time because I was like, well, shit, that was the thing I thought I couldn't do. Like I was for sure I couldn't lose weight for the last time and then I did it. So that must mean I can do anything if I put my mind to it, which is kind of true. So that's so cool. That's so well said. Casey.
I think to the me part, I think that like if you're having self-doubt that like I'm not like everyone else, or I haven't yet related to any of this, or my challenge is unique. I think for so many different people, everyone's tried something, whether it's like, oh, I'm gonna fast, I'm gonna do this Whole Foods diet, all the Weight Watchers, everything that's Ozempic, surgery, everything that's like been out there. I think it's kind of a treatment, like, oh, you're like, a little overweight or a lot overweight, like take this. Or you eat too much, you're binging, like learn intermittent fasting. And when all these single things like don't work, I think it's an external thing. And the
Yes.
difference is the ingredient missing is you. And I think we say to ourselves, oh, that didn't work. But then there's a piece of us that's like, oh, I didn't do it. Like, and so I think that's what kind of creates the doubt. And I feel like I know what has helped me and what has changed is I know that's not true. Like, I know I actually always had the power. So, for example, when I went to sign up, it was a lot of money. Like, I did have to kind of convince my husband. And at the time, like, it was a lot easier. We had it, but still, it's a big commitment. But there was a piece of me that had a curious mindset. I was like, you know what? Like, I'm afraid of this group thing. I don't want that. I want one-on-one. It's a lot of money, but like, fuck it. Let's just like try it. Like, I had like a little bit of it that's like through this is also blossom that I bring into everything. And you know, I think like a lot of people have said before, like their husbands have said, and it is to this day, the best money that we have ever spent, because it wasn't just weight loss. It is like a waterfall effect into everything that you do in your life and who you are, like in your fabric. And obviously the guarantee helps. I'm now looking to hire another coach. It is very, not for weight loss, for like business. It's extremely expensive. I don't just have like extra cash to upfront it. And I'm looking to charge it because I know the value that I will get from doing this. I know the value of a really good coach, a really good program that has a support system, that has a guarantee, that is real and authentic. It's not some like, you know, hocus pocus thing online. So hopefully that's helpful.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. Coaching has been like the best investment ever, and the ripple effect is real. My husband's just like, you're just so much nicer after you found coaching. You're just so nice now. Carolyn.
You know, I struggled too because it's called Yummy Mummies.
Yeah. Oh no. Do you guys
I'm
know
like,
what you guys? Do you guys know what you guys do? You guys, some of you guys won't say it. You guys go around. You guys go like the YMX, like YMX, YMX.
that's me. Not to mention the fact that when I started, I was 66, and I'm like, I'm not, I'm not a mummy anymore. My kids are your ages, and I was like, oh, I don't know about this, and the coaching and the social media stuff. I mean, remember, Laura? I was like, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
I will tell you that I was referred by Nicole Shaka, who I've been working out with for 2 years. And I thought, wow, if Nicole likes Laura, then there's got to be something there, right? Not that Nicole loves everybody, but she was saying just the nicest things about Laura. And so I remember going to my husband and saying, oh, guess what? I'm buying a duck club because he belongs to a duck club that's way over what I spent. And every year it's been like
Wait, what's
20
a
years.
duck club? A duck?
Yeah, they hunt. Yeah.
Oh, a duck club. You shoot ducks. Okay,
They
got it.
shoot ducks. It's fun. It's a guy thing. But anyway, so I said, I'm gonna buy a duck club. He's like, what could he say? Right? What could he say? He couldn't say no. And he is in that same camp with like, I can't even believe that you have gotten so much out of this, not just the weight loss, but also the mental. And the money back guarantee really helped me because then it forced me to really dig in and really say, okay, I have to do everything. I'm going to learn everything. And, within a very short period of time, I was like, I don't want my money back. I need this. This is the thing I needed, and I didn't even know how to get it or really what it was. And so I feel like you got to borrow that belief and go for it. And I'm glad I did. And in fact, I talked my sister into it, and her life is astronomically changed. Unbelievable. So, yay.
That's so awesome. That's so cool. I have another random question, unless that someone else wants to speak to what I just asked. Because Carolyn, you just said you're like, I don't even know like what it was. Like I didn't even like. It sounds like you didn't even really know exactly what you were signing up for. So how would you guys like? Obviously, I try my best to explain it to the School of Skinny students and to, this, I'll probably put this on the podcast too, to the podcast listeners. But like, how do you guys describe the Yummy Mummy or the YMX? Like, what is it? Like, of course, I have my answer to it, but what would you guys say? Like, what is this thing? Guys are like, we don't know. We just sent them to you. Tori.
I was gonna say, I don't even know. I mean, to this day, I'm like, it's my group, it's my ladies group, it's my like, mom's group. I mean, I have like a lot of different, because it's just like we touch on so many different things that I don't, I don't want to say I was blind going in, but like I didn't know. Like what Casey said in the beginning, I didn't know what I didn't know, and I was like, well, let's just go see. I mean,
Yeah.
what worst thing is that I might not like it or I might not be able to integrate it, but like it was so easy to integrate. It just was like, because you make it tangible and it's like there's not all these esoteric things that we like have to, it's like woo, but not woo. Does that make sense? It's like, it's just on the fringe of just, because there's a self exploration component that is so huge within it, but that's not like what your marketing's about. And that's not what you're putting out there because, I mean, frankly,
Yeah.
that's either uninteresting or like too intimidating, I think. So it's so accessible, but you don't know that going into it. So I think if I were telling everybody like, what is it about? It's like, just go, don't be afraid to find out because I think all of us come in, of course, with our own set of circumstances, but then it's like really it's one of those things like what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. So if you go in with this open mindset, curiosity, well, let's just find out what's behind the curtain. You are going to win. You're already winning by like just jumping in and seeing because you're taking that chance to, and like you're taking the chance on curiosity. I'm like, okay, hold on, this could be really cool. And then you make really great friends. I mean, I just can't believe like the relationships that come out of it too, which is just, it's really, it's pretty magical. So let's just see.
That's so cool. Yeah, let's just see. It's like a mystery. I think that's so cool because I remember like way back in the day, somebody's like, "Yeah, I went to a party and somebody was like asking, what did I do to lose all this weight?" And I told them I'm doing no sugar, no flour, and then I realized it's like 4% of what I'm doing, right? Like, and it's like, so she was like, it was so hard to explain. I just like made them book a call with you or whatever. But it's true. Yes, it's the blood sugar balance, the hunger hormone balance, but so much of it is the mindset and the emotional intelligence piece and the community piece and the love, self-love piece, the fun piece, all of that. But it's like if I had 6 months to explain to you what it was, then we would do that. But you have to, at some point, it's like you're just gonna have to come in and see for yourself to Tori's point. Yeah. Nikki.
So for me, I would say, so, were to ask me, what is it? I would say it's, more of a life skills, like group coaching where you, I think reach your full potential. And not that I would say I've reached my full potential in the course, but what I now have is the skills and resources to do that. So for me, yes, of course I came in because of the weight loss, but I've learned so much more about the way that my brain thinks and how I can control those thoughts. Again, the relationship piece has been huge for me. I did not realize how much my expectations of others and judgment of others, which I'm in my mid 40s, so to live a whole life that way, that it changed how I think about those things, and how I can remove the barriers in my brain to go for the things that I want. So the weight holds me back or was holding me back from having the capacity and the thought to say, maybe I don't want to work in corporate America for the rest of my life. Or how do I want to, parent my kids differently? My world isn't all about work. It's so much more. I have two beautiful young girls, and how do I feel more fulfilled? And how do I truly want to be happy in this life? And what do I want for myself? So, and what I love is that over the 6 months, you have the weekly coaching and then you have the skills. And I feel like we learned so much that we can apply outside of just the weight loss. But I know that for me, the barrier was, the weight and how that was getting in the way of everything else that I knew that I could do. So.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so well said. And I think don't sign up for the yummy mummy just for the weight. Sign up for the whys behind why you want the whys behind you want. I'm not saying this very well, but you want to lose weight for a reason. That's what you're paying for. Those reasons to be a present mom, to realize, oh, I don't have to be in corporate America for the rest of my life if I don't want to be, right? It's like the physical, mental, and emotional weight of not weighing what you want is a huge barrier for a lot of us. So that's so well said. Casey.
I didn't have too good of answer, but I do just now want to read my yogi tea. The unknown is where all outcomes are possible. Enter it with grace.
Oh, we can
So-
just end the call now. It's so good. So cute.
You
Amazing.
are possible. Your weight loss is possible. And I would say also like just for the weight loss. If you're like, no, my life is great. It can't get any better. I'm actually in a yacht right now in Europe, like listening to this call. Like I can't really relate with you, Smux. I just want to lose these last 10 pounds. Like that's reason enough because I guarantee you it will happen and you will never like I have not gained my 30 some pounds back like at all. And like I never have to worry about it again. I'm just such a different person. All these things are automatic, and I think everyone can kind of say the same thing to a different degree of the different things.
Yeah, I love that. And I forgot to comment because I just forgot. But what you were saying about like the external versus the internal, like the internal work is the missing piece. And like I don't want you guys, if you're listening to this, to make yourself wrong or bad for wanting an external fix, for wanting a magic pill, for wanting the quick fix. This is the way we've been trained. We've been trained that there is a quick fix, but there's just not. And especially with the Ozempics and the GLP-1s and whatever. Like that can be one tool in your toolbox, but if you do want to lose weight for the last time, it's still an external quick fix. Like you won't heal this at the root and you won't create permanent weight loss unless you have a full toolbox of tools, which has actually been really cool to see now that I've had many clients, be on it, come off of it, be on it while they do it. So, and that's the resounding opinion is that those drugs can be right for some people, but only in tandem with this mindset and emotional work. And everybody's like on this call nodding. So yeah, okay. So I want to respect everybody's time. So we are going to have a hard stop at the top of the hour. But what I want to end with is, what do I want to end with? Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is there any Q&A from like live audience? Does anyone like
Oh, I haven't even been looking. Whoops. Oh my God.
that we could like speak directly to somebody who is like, well,
Yeah,
thanks for
what questions do you guys have?
still where I'm stuck.
Okay. Hold on, you guys. So you guys, just let me say something. If you guys are thinking about joining the Yummy Mummy, and there's a tech piece because we do have a tech piece in terms of we have a private community on Slack, and we have a portal. You see, like if I can figure this out, you guys can figure it out. I'm not that great on tech. Okay. Here's a good question. Okay, I'm in, but I'm not exactly sure how to approach the conversation with my husband. So what advice would you guys did talk about that a little bit. Sorry, I think I promoted you to panelist, Stephanie. Let me put you back. Or whatever, it's fine. You can stay there, it doesn't really matter. Do you guys see my inability to do tech? Okay, who wants to speak to that? What advice do you have for like having the husband conversation?
Casey here. I think, may I answer?
You may. Yes, you may.
Two parts. One, there's a podcast out there of husbands speaking of wives who have gone through and completed the program. So I would encourage to like maybe listen to that on a long car ride together. And second piece, do you offer a guarantee, Laura?
Yeah, I do.
money back. So I would maybe say, hey, the worst case, let's try this. And at the very worst case scenario is it doesn't work and we get our money back. And the only thing I've lost is my investment and my time. That's it.
Yeah, totally.
You literally have nothing to lose except all the weight that you're going to lose.
Yeah. Zoe.
I think for me, it ties in, and you've talked about this, Laura, about how like women don't spend money on themselves. And so I feel
Yeah,
like,
Carolyn kind of brought that up too.
yeah. So if you just sort of like go into the conversation fully bought in yourself and like knowing that you are worth spending money on and that like you're not last in your family. Cause I mean, at least for me, sometimes I'm like, okay, well, I'm like the last priority, right? We got the kids, we got the husband. So I think if you just come in with that power of like, I am worth it, like I deserve this, then that can help a lot.
Yeah, totally. I love that. That's so good. And you might not actually fully believe that. You might actually have to take action before you believe it. And it's one way to build the belief, and that will serve you for the rest of your life, right? Like maybe I deserve it. Maybe I'm worth it, right? I've been talking a lot about that this week because it's my daughter's 7th birthday. And it's like, I really believe the best gift I can give her is a mom who's put their oxygen mask on first. I know that sounds cliche, but like on most days, my cup is full, like it is, and I can pour from it easily. I know that might sound like kind of crazy or far-fetched, but like it's a product of doing this work for so long. And it's a little, again, it's cliche, but it's like happy wife, happy life. But it's like, it's true. Like if you are the matriarch, your energy trickles out through the entire rest of the home, and it's so important. If you can't do it for yourself, do it for your kids and do it for your partner, like, and eventually you'll see like, oh, I am, you'll see the difference. Yeah, that's so good. Okay, another question. Okay, I'm curious how much everyone has lost if they're open to sharing. Some people said it, but yeah, I mean, you guys can share it or not share it.
I've lost 20.
Amazing.
22.
22, 20. Casey said,
15.
Carolyn 15. Casey, you had 30, right? Or 40?
30, yeah.
And
Just-
Zoe?
I like 30, 35, something like that.
I always teach people to have a range too. And I hesitate. I love this question because like if I were you, I would want to know too, Jody. Here's the deal though too. Like if you have 5 pounds to lose and it's causing you so much mental and emotional and energetic heaviness, it's worth doing. And if you have like 100 pounds, this program works for whatever amount of weight that you have to lose. And I know a lot of people like that have like 10 or 15 are like, God, I can't spend 5K on 10 or 15 pounds. That's not proper math. Like, not sorry. But if it's causing you pain and it's blocking you from the life that you want, that's what you want to measure. That's the cost, right? So that's what I'll say. It's like everybody's individual, everyone has their own goals, and that is so much of the principle behind the Yummy Mummy is choice. Like part of my job is to empower you to figure out what you want and then exactly how to go get that. There's no right or wrong. Yeah, exactly, Jody. Okay, you guys, I do want to okay, so let's end with, if you had to describe the Yummy Mummy in one word, what would you or the YMX in one word, what would you say in one word? And then we will end. And I thank you guys so much. Casey, you got to go.
Mine's life-changing.
That was
Okay,
mine.
Was mine.
I'm not
wait, you guys have to think of new ones. Okay, life-changing. Carolyn.
Transformational.
That was mine.
We need some synonyms up
Fun.
in here. Fun. Okay, fun. Transformational. What did you say, Zoe?
I said life changing, and I get that one too because that was what feels best.
No, Another one. Casey, do you have one?
I was gonna say life-changing, gosh.
Amazing.
I guess
Amazing.
life-changing. I guess I'll let you guys have life-changing. I mean, it's a pretty good
Easy.
one.
Fucking easy.
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 I like
Easy.
that. Hmm.
Exciting.
Oh, I just said the F word. There goes the
Easy,
V
exciting.
on
Oh
there.
yeah, we don't swear that if you guys have if you guys are like sailors, don't come into the Yummy Mummy. We don't allow swearing. Well, everybody knows I can't keep my mouth. I have a yeah. My husband's like, you need to really stop swearing. You're probably turning a lot of people off. I'm like, I can't fucking do it. All right, you guys, that's our call. Thank you guys so much for being here. Seriously, it makes my job so much more fun when we get to do this together. So I love you all. School of Skinny students, thank you so much for being here. If you guys are interested in signing up for the Yummy Mommy experience, go to lauraconley.com and you can book a call and we can see if you're the right fit, get your questions answered, all of that good stuff. Yes, and thank you guys, everybody in the Q&A saying thank you, thank you, thank you. And to my Mum Alum, I love you guys from the bottom of my heart so much. Mwah. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.